Welcome to Season 3, Episode 12 of the Me and ADHD podcast. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about the shared traits of ADHD and ASD. And to do this, I'm having a conversation with a previous guest and fellow podcaster, Gemma Thomas. Gemma Thomas. It's not that hard, is it? It's not that hard to say. Gemma Thomas.
You do have blooper reel.
Do you know what? I think I did a better job when I tried to say your podcast name.
Yeah. Apparently my name is the problem. Fine. It's
Oh,
fine.
bless. So welcome, Gemma.
Hello, how are you?
I was all right until I started speaking. Uh,
It's fine. It's been a journey.
right, I know from our previous conversations that you are autistic, and just in case you weren't aware, I'm ADHD. Surprise! Um,
Surprise.
just in case you didn't know. Um,
Just in case.
I know with ADHD and ASD there are lots of traits. Some of them which will kind of like distinguish between the two, but there's a lot that overlap as well. And that's what we're going to have a conversation with today. So, for yourself then, I'm pausing now because I don't know why. For yourself then, right, when you were, I guess, on your autistic journey, so before you got diagnosed, were you made aware of the shared traits? Did you know there's a difference between the two and there's some that look the same? And
So not originally. So right at the very start, I don't remember what we spoke about last time, so there might be some overlap. But right at the very start, they suspected I had ADHD. And they still do. I'm on the list waiting for an ADHD assessment as well. But the first thing they picked up was ADHD. So that's what we spent time looking into, and sort of those traits and all of that were resonating with me. And I wasn't aware that there was such an overlap. I always thought that they were in their own categories. You know, you had
yeah,
ADHD or you had autism. I wasn't actually I think I was aware of it vaguely, but I wasn't aware of how common it is to have both. I wasn't aware of the overlap between the symptoms until I had my assessment. That was where I really started to realise where the overlap is. And I just remember being amazed how these people diagnose ADHD and autism, because I'm like, where's the line? Like, where do you go? This person's autistic, this person's ADHD, this person has both. So that's where I sort of went down that rabbit hole of looking at the overlap.
I mean, it's got to be hard for, like you say, for the people who are doing the assessments to try and distinguish between the two. I'm guessing that's
Yeah.
one of the reasons why the assessment process is so lengthy.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
there's
you
a
you can't
lot
say
to
they're
talk
not in
about.
detail. There is, and it is I had a shock at how long the assessment was, and I had um, the assessment. I had a shock at how long it was. Nobody had prepped me because the woman who'd been working with me, a CPN for my mental health, she hadn't told me that it could possibly be a 4 hour like hours. And I was 4 hours in the assessment, and I remember I couldn't speak by the end of it. So, yeah, they definitely go into detail. But then it was only when we had the feedback session that they were like, we think you've got ADHD as well. And they sort of explained where the overlap was and what was making them think that there was ADHD there as well, which is what they originally thought anyway.
Okay. So they put you on the waiting list for that as well, did they?
They did. I've been told I'm still on the waiting list. So my autism one, I had a bit of a shock really, because as I said, it was ADHD that had been mentioned. Nobody'd mentioned autism. So when my letter for the ADHD, the autism came through, I was shocked because that's the one they decided to fast track. They
Okay.
decided to push that one through. Um, so I had that within a couple of weeks. But now, obviously, the ADHD one hasn't been fast tracked. They don't see a reason to fast track that one, so we're just waiting in the standard queue
Okay.
of a million years.
Yes. You know, which comes first, the assessment or your pension?
Good question. Good question. And I think by the time I reach pension age, it's probably, who knows, I might get neither.
So, I mean, when yourself, when you think, and I know you're on the waiting list to get the assessment, but do you think about those kind of like crossover sort of traits and think, okay, this I think this is more the autistic side, and I think this could possibly be ADHD side.
I notice it more when I speak to people. So obviously it's becoming more recognized now. People are, I've got a daughter who's autistic, and it's when we're sort of looking at the differences in each other, that's when
Yeah.
I really notice it. Because I've got one of my family members is waiting for an ADHD assessment, and we've sort of um we realized then that that's where I've got both, and maybe well, we don't know, she hasn't had her assessment yet, but it's like we sort of notice that difference between us, and we think, is that where the autism comes in? And the way, the sort of things, the traits that we've got that are very similar, and we have been all our lives, those are the ones we might be thinking, oh, that's the ADHD. So it tends to be with other people that I notice the differences and the overlap.
Okay. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, I was trying to get some notes together for this, and I kept on looking at different websites on the overlaps,
Hmm.
and there's a lot of them. So they'll one website will say this and this, and then another website will say these things, and another website will say all these things. Like there are, yeah. So that can be very confusing.
I don't know how they do it, especially when you look at is it called a Venn diagram?
Yeah,
Is that what it's called? Where you've got the two circles and the circle in the middle.
yeah,
If you look at them for ADHD and autism, that center pocket or whatever it's called is huge. The amount of things that are shared between them, um, although they can be experienced in different ways. So it's sort of like maybe sensory processing, for example, that could be shared between them, but the way they experience it and the way that um, the sort of difficulty it causes can be different in that sense.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. I was reading that as well because I was thinking, is it really, is it really completely shared, or is it okay? Like I say, for sensory issues,
Mm,
we're not going through the same thing. You'll be
mm,
finding it difficult, whatever it is, for whatever noise, whatever it is, for a particular reason, and you're
mm.
struggling with that noise. And I could be struggling with that noise as well, but it comes from a different reason.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I don't know if I explained that very well or not, but it's
No, I know what you mean, and that could be the same for. This is where it's raising awareness of like a spectrum, isn't it? Because I think everyone assumes, you probably had the comment of everyone's on the spectrum somewhere. This is where you have to think of it like a mixing desk. Is it a mixing desk where you do the volumes?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um, it's not a circle. It's not you've got this or you haven't. It's just varying degrees of things. And like even if you're speaking to another autistic person or someone with ADHD, something that bothers you, a lot of us in the sort of this community with the podcast and stuff, we all talk to each other and we all engage with each other. It's a really friendly community. So we can be talking and something that bothers someone might not phase me at all, might not bat an eyelid at it. And then there's something that absolutely cripples me and they're like, oh no, I've never even thought of that. It's for autism and ADHD, it's not a yes or no. It's not the same as I don't know, I can't think of an example. If you break your foot and it's like, is your foot hurting? It's a yes or a no, you know? Do you know what I mean? It's
yeah,
that
yeah,
that's the diagnostic criteria for broken foot isn't a good example. Um but yeah, if it's a physical pain, you can go, yes, the pain is there or isn't. But with these, everyone's different and everyone experiences it differently.
yeah. No, no, you're right. I mean, the amount of times I've spoken to people about their ADHD and their presentations and what affects them and how it affects them, and a lot of the time that's just not me. That's not me at all. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes to the point where I'm thinking, am I really ADHD? It's
Mm.
because I'm like completely different, but
Yeah.
that's how it is. You know,
Yeah, and there's varying categories within the ADHD as well, and how you present. This is why, um, I don't want to come across as wrong here, but with self-diagnosing, it's important because people need to be able, and again, when we say self-diagnosing, we don't mean you've gone on the internet and you've seen one video that says, if you like this sound, you might be ADHD. Because I see them all the time. And I think people assume, the world assumes that when people say self diagnosing, that's what you mean. That you've gone on, you've seen one video and you're like, yeah, I'm definitely ADHD. But when you've gone through it properly, and I mean, looking into things recognizing it in yourself is great and it's powerful while you're waiting. But this is where I think official diagnosis also matters because of the amount of scope that's in it. The
Yeah,
difference, as you say, autism, ADHD, there's so many little pockets that are useful to know. This is where the professional support, I personally would say, comes in handy. Again, self diagnosis is valid while you're waiting and stuff like that. That's not the issue. It's it's being able to know which little pocket you fit into and finding tools that can really help you.
yeah, yeah. Because there's a lot to it, and I know we're going to be talking about the overlapping for ADHD and ASD, but they also will overlap with other neurodiverse conditions as well. So when they are doing the assessments, they're not just looking for, okay, we're doing an ADHD assessment. They're not just looking for ADHD. They're looking to rule out, I guess, be it autism, or they'll be looking at dyspraxia. They'll be looking at anxiety. They're going to be looking. They're going to be a lot of things, because a lot of
Yeah.
those things can be anxiety, for instance,
Yeah. Mm.
concentration, really struggling to concentrate, and memory. That's anxiety as well. Um,
Yeah.
there's a lot of different things in there. Um,
Mm.
and like I said about the self-diagnosis, yeah, I agree. I'm kind of, in the real world, it is valid. We do the
Yeah.
research and things like that. I don't think it
Mm.
should be done, because I don't think we should have to wait 6 years to get assessed. That's the issue.
This is it.
If you
Yeah.
wait, you have to wait. You go for it. You get referred, and you have to wait, come like 3 or 4 weeks to get assessed.
Mm.
Absolutely, do not self, diagnose, because
No,
3 weeks down the line
you
you're going to
wait.
have, yeah.
Yeah.
But when you're waiting for so long and you are struggling, you got to do
Mm.
something. You got to do something to,
Absolutely.
so you will go down
Yeah.
that rabbit hole, and you will make up your mind about what's going on.
Yeah. It's
So
sad that people have to in a way. You know,
yeah,
it's valid. It's sad that they've got to.
yeah,
It's sad that they're living in a world where they're not going to get the answers unless they go researching for themselves. Um, but no, it's absolutely valid. I just think there's something really powerful in getting that proper answer in which category you fit into.
yeah,
I find that's what really, I mean, I haven't had the full answers yet because I haven't had the ADHD assessment. But for me, being able to read that report and read those, like, these traits are okay, these traits are where overlaps, it's interesting and it gives you that extra level of this is how my brain works. This is okay. Um, I definitely would, if people are able, even if it is 6 years down the line, your diagnosis, self diagnosis is still valid in that time. But I would recommend to do it rather than turn it down.
oh, and absolutely, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's just the right thing to do if you're
Yes.
struggling. If
If you're struggling, yeah.
you
If
know,
it's not affecting, if it's not affecting your life, then, but then if it's not affecting your life, I can't imagine you're going to be down that rabbit hole on the internet either.
well, yeah, there is that, yeah.
You know, it's, I think that's where you enter into the territory of just self-diagnosing from what you've seen. It's people that are really desperate that are, you've done it, I did it. Um, well, I didn't actually do it because until the doctor told me, because I would never have thought of ADHD. But you go down that rabbit hole and then you start seeing things. And you're like, this is me. This could really help me. And that's how you end up self-diagnosing.
Yeah,
If it's not affecting your life, I can't see any reason why you would be.
yeah, no, 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 absolutely. And like I say, people are struggling. That's why they're doing it. They want answers, like you said. It's about the answers. Once you get the answers, kind of like where you're going and what to do, and
Yes.
your thought process is a little bit different, because beforehand, I don't know what's going on. Um,
No.
and it
It's
can be
like navigating life without a map,
yeah,
without a guide.
I mean, I went down. I got assessed um, for autism first of all, and
Yeah.
because there's a lot of things, and this is what we're going to be talking about. There are a lot of things that rang true for me. So I thought, okay, that I think we could. I got assessed, and they said no. However, masses of ADHD. All right, okay. So yeah, then I got assessed for that. So that's where you can get it wrong.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of things that I thought,
This is the overlap.
yeah,
This is where the overlap is unless you're a professional, um, it's hard to know where the line is on one and not the other.
yeah. So overlaps then. Let's talk about them. There's a lot. Probably won't go through them all, but have you got a
Oh,
list?
I've got a list. Well, to be honest, a lot of my lists are like the contradicting ones as well. There are
Okay,
overlaps, obviously. I have got, so I didn't write down the overlaps. I'm hoping I'm gonna be able to read them off to you.
okay. We can't do the contradictions yet because that's near the
I
end.
know this is why you've just put me on the spot because I looked at my list and I was like, that's not the list I need. I was like, no, I have got the overlaps, yes,
Just
because I've been looking at my Venn diagrams.
so we've got. I mean, there's lots and lots.
Yeah.
So there's things like I've got down here. Both can have issues with executive functions, um, cognitive processes that help us plan, organize, and complete tasks. Um,
Hmm.
it could be sort of difficulties in organization, challenges with working memory, um,
Yeah.
inflexibility in thinking. See, I'm
Mm.
not too bad with that. Impulse controls.
Yeah.
So, so acting without thinking about it, to be fair, without thinking about the consequences. So that's
Yeah.
lots of different things like that. And then you've got the social cue. How would you find your social cues?
Yeah. I'm not good socially. Like, I'm very much finish people's sentences, interrupt, step in when you shouldn't, um, panic talk as well. Just like, I'm not someone who can sit in silence. I'm always amazed seeing people who can just let silence sit in a room. You're quite good at letting silence sit a bit, though, aren't
I
you?
Yes, I like silence. I will if I'm comfortable with a person. If I'm not
Yeah.
comfortable or the situation isn't very comfortable, then yeah, you
Mm.
get the panic talking. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
you get that, like, I need to fill the silence.
this is it. But when you're comfortable, I know I don't have to talk. I like silence, and I
Yeah.
struggle with getting my words out. So the less I talk, the better.
To be fair, I get this issue, but my brain doesn't know that I've got this issue. So then it just keeps talking, and I'm like, mate, shut up. Like, shh, just stop. But even when I'm comfortable, I find when I'm alone in a room, I like silence. I enjoy the telly being off and just sitting there. But when I'm with a person, even if I'm 100% comfortable, my brain is just firing all these things like I need to say. So my husband's used to it. We get a little nightly debrief where I'm like, right, this is, and then we can sit down and watch telly. Um, yeah, it's a weird one, a weird one. I said that weird.
It's weird.
It's weird. It's like whip.
Uh, how about
Oh
how about
gosh.
your social cues? What you like with them?
Yeah, I don't understand when you're like meant to step in on a conversation. Again, I'll just jump straight in.
Yeah.
If I'm someone as well, if I've got an interesting story that even vaguely relates to what they're saying, and it could literally be they've mentioned a dog or something, and I'm like, I went to the zoo the other day. Um, if it's vaguely attached to what they're saying, I jump in and say my story, without realizing it's rude. And then it's about 10 seconds after I said it that I realize that was rude. Um, but yeah, I think that's a common one, isn't it?
That is, yeah. I mean, I struggle with knowing when they're I guess, more comfortable with me. I think when I'm talking with someone, even for the first
Mm.
time, I can feel like, oh, we're getting on really, really well. And then because of that, I will start to overshare.
Yeah.
And it's like, maybe I should have left it maybe 3 or 4, months or years
Yeah.
before I sort of like divulge that information. Um, I wonder why they don't talk to me again.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel, oh, getting on really well, and I'm misinterpreting their body language and everything like that, thinking we're really getting, close and we're
Yeah.
friends now, and we can. No, yeah, I've done that a lot.
No, they were just serving me in a shop. They didn't need to know my childhood trauma. Yes, yes, I do this. Um, and I'm doing this more so now that I didn't realize this was going to be an issue, but now that obviously I'm podcasting and on the internet a lot, I realize I've gotten way too comfortable on the internet. Um, which shouldn't happen because in essence you get that sort of divide between you've said something and you go, right, okay, I didn't need to say that. Um, but yeah, oversharing has become a thing, and I sort of justify it in going, well, it might help someone. You never know. But yeah, definitely oversharing. But yeah, is that not? See, that's one I wouldn't say is a shared trait, is it? Because like the ADHD is that impulsivity, and autism tend to be more thinking about things. No?
But that isn't that then the different reason why, the background to why
Yeah.
it happens.
Why it's happening, yeah. Yeah, because sometimes it's like on the autistic side, it might be you're so uncomfortable um that you just yeah, just say random stuff and then maybe the ADHD is just that impulsivity. Do you know what? It is a minefield. And when you start digging into it, I think I don't know how they decipher between what's ADHD and what's autism. I genuinely don't. Even looking at those diagrams, as you say, it's like that generic, they struggle with sensory issues or whatever. But then if you broke that down into all these little pieces, it's a minefield.
It is.
That made no sense, but I
Let's talk
rolled
about
with it.
sensory then. Tell me your sensory issues.
Sensory.
What are
Well,
your
how long have you got?
issues?
What are my issues? Yeah, that's a whole other podcast. Um, I so sensory. I'm really sensitive to noises, um, noises and feelings on my skin. So do you know, like clothes materials? Um, I hate the hot weather as much as people don't like anyone in this country admitting that they hate the hot weather because we only get it for about 3 minutes. But I don't like it because you get that feeling on your skin. Your clothes doesn't sit right. You feel hot and sweaty and sticky. Um, so yeah, very much touch and um, textures of things tends to be my. I had a hoodie on yesterday. I don't particularly wear hoodies because I don't like the feeling, but this one's been really comfortable. I've been okay with it. Then all of a sudden, my brain was like, "No, you're suffocating." And I was driving at the time, and I was like, "I'm going to need to pull over," and I had to pull over to take this hoodie off because I just felt like it was suffocating me all of a sudden. So yeah, my sensory is very much the tactile feelings, clothes, and noises.
Okay. So when you're in that situation, how does it make you feel?
Honestly, you might get this. I've explained this to so many people. It feels like I want to rip my skin off. Right, is the only way I can describe it. Even before having my diagnosis, I remember I would sit with counselors or whoever was trying to help me, and I'd be like, I feel like my bones want to get out of my skin. Like it feels like my bones are rattling inside my body and they want to get out. And obviously, up until that point, they were like, "Oh, it's anxiety, it's whatever else they tried saying, panic and stuff." But now I'm like, "This is the ADHD. This is the autism. It's like my brain is in meltdown essentially." But as an adult, you see children sometimes, and children mask it as well. I know my daughter does, but with a child having a meltdown, they are listening to their body. So when their body is going, I need to move, I need to fidget around, or I need to scream and kick, they are doing what their body needs to do. But as an adult, it feels like you're internally having that meltdown and your skin isn't moving. So that's when I get this feeling of my bones want to come out because my bones haven't got the memo that we're not moving.
That's
Yeah.
that's a good description, and actually, it's quite a good one to show the difference in the reason behind it. Now, I get sensory issues. I
Mm.
think maybe the sounds are very similar, but the touch, um, I find that clothing, um, I don't like tight clothing. Everything's baggy. Um, and then what else? The whole label in new
Oh, yeah.
clothes. I think that's that's a generic one for actually anybody, to be honest with you, which
I don't know
is
how
is
anyone
historical.
copes with
Yeah.
labels.
But things like sort of the clothing, something touching something in my shoe. Okay. The
Mm.
reason that I find that I struggle with that is not because it hurts or it makes me feel bad or overwhelmed. It's because I can't shut off my focus on it. So I
Yeah.
can be walking the lakes. It'll be beautiful day. It's the best place in the world, and I'm just in peace. It's wonderful, and feel there's a little clump, rolled up ball of just cotton fiber from my sock. It's not
Yeah.
rubbing. It's not hurting,
Mm.
but I can feel it,
Yeah.
and now I can't concentrate on anything else. Not the view, not where I am, not in peace and quiet, not the birds singing. All I can think of is that feeling in my shoe, and I have to stop to get it out because I cannot think of anything else because I can't shut off the
Yeah.
focus.
Yeah. That's a really good example of that. Like, it's a sensory issue. Essentially, it's a sensory issue caused by your clothing, but the actual impact it's having on your brain is the ADHD and the autism, and where the sort of difference is as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, sound
That's a good example.
sound is depending on what it is. I found I didn't know I had sensory issues. Um,
Mm.
I because I've always naturally gone towards quietness in my life,
Yeah.
and then children and families and things get loud in the house. I really struggled, and it's just I find that it's just too much for my head to cope with.
Yeah.
Um, but where I massively struggle is if I'm trying to concentrate on something, which is an issue.
Mm.
Full stop. Even with medication, it's
Yeah.
an issue. So, like with medication, I can read a book,
Mm.
but I struggle with any sound around me because then I won't be able to focus on the book. It's just I can't.
Oh, yeah.
And it's easy to, you can walk away, but if you can't walk away, or if I'm trying to do something because I have to do it, but that
Mm.
noise is still there, it's just too much because I can't do. It's like cognitive overload. Really, I am trying to force myself to concentrate, but that is just noises is coming into
Yeah.
my ear. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Yeah. No, I get that. In work, if I'm trying to do my work and the rain, we've got like a rain factory, so it's a tin roof kind of thing. And if it starts really hammering it down with rain, I can't do anything. I'm just frozen for the time that it is pelting it down, um, until it's quiet again. So yeah, I totally get it. I don't know if you're the same. I find when it's a mixture of noises. So if I put music on and I've
Yeah,
chosen that music, that's important. If I've chosen the music, I could have that at volume like 1,000
yeah,
and it won't bother me. I'll be able to carry on cleaning, I'll be able to do whatever. But if someone else has got like with the kids, if they've got the iPad playing and then someone else is on their phone and they've got a bit of video playing, then someone's hoovering or someone's drilling, like that's when I can't cope because I haven't picked that noise and there's multiple noises.
yeah,
That's what's hard.
yeah. That's hard. And I find, what do you call it when there's a certain noise, or type of noise that you just cannot stand and grinds your bones straight away? Classic
Don't know what
example,
it's
they say
called.
with someone's chewing,
Yes,
whatever
nails on
that
a
is.
chalkboard as well.
Yeah,
Oh, I have seen I have seen a name for it. No, I don't know what it is.
I can't
Um,
remember. People chewing is absolutely fine for me, but there are certain noises, like say my son will make or someone else would make, certain mechanical noises and the
Mm.
beeping and grinding kind of
Yeah,
I can't handle them. That hurts my head. That's where my headphones go
yeah,
on and I listen to rain instead. I can't.
yeah. See, even rain can do it for me. Rain, I like rain when it's gentle, but when it starts like really raining, I'm in Wales. It happens on the regular. When it starts like hammering it down, that's one of those noises for me. It just grates on me. Don't like it.
It's
Just
strange
bizarre,
because
innit?
I find it quite rhythmic and quite like white noise type of thing.
I hate white noise. Um, I actually respond. I don't know if you've seen the different colours. There's different colours of white noise that you can get. So you've got white noise, pink noise, brown noise, and white noise used to grate on me. So I started flicking through the different colours, and I found one of the colours that I really, really like. And it's just different frequencies. However, your brain responds to that particular frequency. So no, white noise isn't for me. So maybe this is why I'm not a big fan of the rain.
Oh, okay. But you, there's different colours. What? I
There
need to
is.
look that up then.
Yeah, I think I want to say it was the brown noise that I used to use to go to sleep, but it might have been the pink one. I remember the pink, brown, and white. There was loads of them. I think there's a green one. It's just different frequencies.
Okay. I mean, that does make sense. It's like my son will make certain noises, and it's like I just can't do it. But then he'll
Mm,
make a different noise, like a car driving, brum brum brum, and it sounds very similar to the others in the same sort of volume, but it's absolutely fine, no problem whatsoever. So there's just that change in the frequency, you
yeah,
know.
and it's being tuned into that. Like we're hypersensitive to those noises then. But again, it's different for all of us. A noise that doesn't bother me that I'd be able to switch off might really irritate you, and vice versa.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I have tinnitus,
All
and
right.
I find I've had that for a couple of years now, I guess. Um, and thank God, I am okay with it. It is at
Yeah.
a frequency or whatever that it actually keeps me company. It's absolutely fine,
Yeah.
which is good because if it didn't, it would drive me nuts.
Yeah.
You know,
My daughter has ear problems and she gets ringing in her ear. It's something to do with fluid behind the ear. And it drove her wild. She wasn't coping with it because of this constant buzzing in her ear. So yeah, lucky that you're all right with it.
yeah, because I would see that would happen with me. I just I'm because my mum has tinnitus and she drives her nuts. She can't sleep with it. I'm like, yeah, it's calming. Thank you. Just it's
It's my
yeah,
friend.
it's strange how it can affect you or not
Mm.
affect you.
Yeah,
All right. So what else we got
definitely.
then? What else we got on the
What
list?
else have we got? Um, what was on your list?
We've got sort of inattention.
My list is full of contradictions, so I don't want to jump the queue.
No, we have to wait. We have to wait.
Wait, wait.
We've got attention
Um,
differences.
tension
We've got
differences.
emotional dysregulation.
Yeah, I think that's probably something experienced in a different way. I think, again, of the way, because they suspect I've got both, I try and, categorize. And I think the way that I get emotionally overwhelmed due to the autistic traits are very different to how I get emotionally overwhelmed to what I consider the ADHD traits.
Okay.
Um, so the ADHD traits make me that sort of I need to be impulsive. I need to be moving. I need to be active. It's that balance between being overstimulated and understimulated. So in my not to say in my autistic brain and it, but you know what I mean, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, in my autistic traits, I can get very emotionally overwhelmed in my approach in my how I fit into the world, basically, and seeing other people and seeing how they can create these friendships and they can create these um, lasting friendships, really, and they can have these engaging conversations with each other without saying something stupid or, without being pushed out. Um, and those really, it can be really hard, can't it? It can make you
Yeah.
feel really lonely and isolated. And then on the other hand, there's the ADHD side of me that will overshare and say something, again, probably say something daft, but it's more what I do to myself. It's that feeling of I need to be moving, I need to be doing things. And if I'm not, or when you get that executive dysfunction, you're sitting there going, right, okay, my brain is telling me I need to just sit here. And I'm like, but I've got washing to do and I've got this. And then I become emotionally overwhelmed because of not being able to do those things physically. I don't know if that made any sense, but I hope you know what I was getting to.
I hope someone did.
I hope someone did. It'll resonate with someone. There'll be someone with an ADHD brain going, I get it, I get it.
And everybody else being, I don't
Everyone
know.
else going, don't know what you mean. But no, I find that it's very like basically my emotional dysregulation with my autism is very social based and how I fit into the world. And my ADHD traits make me feel emotionally dysregulated because of me, myself, and not being able to do things and fulfill tasks,
Oh,
is how
okay.
I probably should have said it.
Yeah. See, I understand that. It was less words, so
It was
I
less
could
words.
follow it.
It's because I wasn't quite sure what I was going to say myself the first time. Oh
How about
gosh.
your focus? So if someone's talking to you, can
Mm,
you listen to every word they say?
no,
Why do you
no.
think that is?
I've got the attention span of a gnat. So even when I'm watching like telly and stuff, I can't just sit and watch telly. I have to um I have to be playing a game on my phone or I have to be doing something as well. Because if I'm just sitting there, I'm not listening to what they're saying. Whereas if I'm playing a game and listening, I'm then listening to what they're saying. It's really bizarre. And same with like someone can tell me something if you tell me, I don't know, your name or whatever. Um, and I'll realize that I haven't actually absorbed any of that information. And it looks like you're being so rude. But you've sat there and fully engaged and I've sort of nodded in the right places. Like I've been on autopilot, but none of it has sunk in. It's really bizarre.
Where's your head then?
That's the $1 million question. If I could find that, I'd be a very rich woman. Um, I thing is, I don't think it goes anywhere in particular. Like, oh, I do get the stereotypical, distraction and seeing other things, but I zone out a lot. Like, and I think sometimes I'm zoned out and people don't realize I'm zoned out because I'm quite, I've, I say this, and I think the whole time we've been filming this, I've been like a little hamster. I'm like all over the place, but I'm usually quite numb and quite zoned. Um, so sometimes I've just gone into my own little world. I zone out regularly because when I was before being diagnosed, they thought I had dissociative disorder. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Disassociation.
Okay.
We'll go with it. If it's wrong, they can tell you. No, dissociation. And I had a little card to carry on me to say that, like, prone to dissociation in case I was ever in a shop and I would zone out and someone would think it was a bit strange. Or if
Okay.
I ever did it and walked out of a shop with something in my hand. Because that didn't actually happen. That would only happen if I had a panic attack. Um, and even then, I'd stop at the door. But that never happened. But it was this concern of if I was to zone out in somewhere that, wasn't a safe place to zone out. So I had a little card that people would know that I'm prone to zoning out. So looking back, I'm wondering if that's the ADHD side of things where I just go into my own world regularly.
Yeah.
It's fun there though.
Well, there is that. Yeah. Yeah. I zone out? Yeah, I do zone out. I've when I go completely, I could just sit there and my head will just go, and it could be for hours. I do that more when I am stressed, when I'm having
Mm,
a hard time, bad day, um, not coping very well, and I do.
yeah.
Oh, if I can remember it, maladaptive daydreaming.
Okay.
I didn't know what it was, but just looking it up,
No.
it's meant to be a trauma response I've read so far, um,
Mm,
where it's kind of like you're trying to take yourself out of this bad situation, put yourself somewhere better. Um,
Yeah.
and it's very in detail,
Mm.
very in detail. So I could
Yeah.
be just dreaming about hiking, in the
Mm.
lakes. And that dream, if
Yeah.
I'm having a bad time and it's going on for months, whatever, because of work or whatever it is, or if I'm not on my
Yeah.
meds, um,
Yeah.
then it could it can go for a long time. But it'll still be about that hiking, because at the moment
Yeah.
that's what's really taking me out of this bad situation. But I will spend
Mm.
time in my head, sort of buying the clothes, buying my hiking boots and the gear I'm going to take with me. And it could be like 3 weeks down the line before I've actually packed the bag to go.
Yeah.
Because the detail is so much, and I've
Mm.
maybe brought myself a new car or camper van or whatever it is, and
Yeah.
it's very much like that. But when people are talking to me, like now,
Mm.
my head will go in and out, in and out. It will go off anywhere it wants to.
Yeah.
It could be about something you just said a minute ago, and I'll go back to it in my head.
Yeah.
So if you get lost in conversation and you'll say, "Oh, where was I?" I'm like, "I don't know.
I don't
This
know.
is it.
I'm still on the last conversation.
This is it." And a lot of the time when
Mm.
should I say this? I don't know. When I do the editing of the podcast,
Yeah.
and I also you go through it and you listen to it all, and I'm like, I don't remember that conversation. Did they say that? I'm like, I just can't remember a lot of it.
Remember it. Yeah.
Because it just goes.
Mm.
No matter how hard I try. Um,
Yeah. And I think that's, do you know what? I think this is something with the ADHD and the autism, but I think it's very common in ADHD. Um, is memory issues, because I think this is something that you don't get people talking about very
yeah,
often. Like I've got the memory of a goldfish, and it's been a joke my whole entire life. Before diagnosis, it was like they were testing me for vitamins deficiencies and all of this because it wasn't really normal, we'll say, for someone my age to be so forgetful. But it's that working memory, I find. I can remember facts about my special interests and things that I've really researched and things that I learned, through school and stuff. If it was something I was interested in, I can learn them and I can feed them back to you and I can tell you. But that working day to day memory, like when the kids have PE, or I need to take that form back in, or even someone could tell me, right, on your way home, post this in the letterbox. My family don't do it anymore because they're like, it'll sit in your car for 3 weeks. But and it can be literally from here, 3 centimeters down the road. I'm not going to remember that because my brain is so busy with everything else. It's as if it does have to compartmentalize what it has room for. Um, and yeah, working memory is the first to go. And I think that's the same when you're having a conversation. I have to plan conversations. I don't know if you do the same.
yeah,
It's really bizarre given that I do podcasting and I probably don't sound like I've planned this conversation at all, but I plan conversations beforehand. So when I'm driving in the car, I'll be like, right, okay, I'm seeing so and so. I don't know, their son just had a baby, whatever. I need to remember to ask them about that, or they've been on holiday. I need to remember, and then I get there and I'll forget those as well. But I'm so busy planning the conversation coming up, it's as if I forget how to be present in the conversation.
yeah.
So then my brain gets overloaded and it just goes zone out. Panic stations, just shut down.
It's really difficult. There's so many things about it that when you try to explain, it's very hard to explain it well.
Yeah.
Um, I think memory is one of them as well. But yeah,
Memories just, I don't think people realize um how much the memory problems can affect. I think like one for me, I don't remember. My children can't do clubs unless my husband can take them because I won't remember to take them. And that breaks my heart. And I'm trying to tell people, and they're like, oh, take them to this club. It's really good. I'm like, it could be the best club in the world. But I'll take them once and then I will forget. And then I feel like, oh, my kids are missing out on something because I will, of my memory. But I don't think they realize it's not something I do on purpose. If I remembered, I'd love to take them to these places.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I really have terrible memory.
It's I guess with memories, it's working out what you can do to help to create a
Mm,
memory, a working memory elsewhere for you, be it signage or something like that, to help you.
yeah.
My phone for the
Mm,
last 15 years, I guess. I didn't know it's because of the ADHD or whatever, but I everything goes in there. Everything goes in the diary, and I've got alarms going off left, right, and center. That
yeah.
only works for me. One, because I know I have my phone with me all the time. I'm not the person to, oh, I can't find my phone. My phone is with me
Yeah. Yeah.
24/7. I don't know why,
Mm,
but it is. Um,
yeah.
but it works when I put it in straight away. So if you tell me I
Mm,
need to do something, I will hang a second and I'll put it in my phone. Okay.
yeah.
If I don't put it in my phone, you haven't told me anything.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is, and it's like not just one reminder. I've just over the years, it's not just one reminder. I'll have multiple, depending on how serious or how
Mm,
important this thing is I got to do or not do, whatever. I might
yeah.
have, one a week before, then a day before, then one in the morning, then one in the afternoon, and then half an hour before it needs to. So there'll be multiple ones.
Yeah.
Um, and I've been doing that for years, and I'm used to doing that now. It's like a normal thing for me to do now, so that works for me.
Mm,
Um,
yeah.
but because if I don't put it in there, I my working
Yeah.
memory is not there.
No, I've tried the phone. I somehow manage work. Like I've just got lists everywhere. But no, the phone doesn't even seem to work. It's just I don't know what it is. I think I'm just getting old as well.
So,
Like
oh, don't say
couple of memory issues.
that.
But no, it is something I really, really struggle with. But my brain is 100 miles an hour, and I've kind of just had to make peace with the fact that it's okay if some things don't have room and don't have that space, um, because it's really wild in my brain. And that's what other people can't see. They can be like, you're just sitting there. Why can't you just go and do this? I'm like, I'm not just sitting here. Like, I'm planning every scenario of what's going to happen tomorrow. And I'm planning every conversation. I'm reliving every conversation I've just had. Like, trust me, it looks like I'm running a marathon in about 40 different directions. But yeah,
It
it's
is
one of
tiring.
those things. It is. It's exhausting, definitely.
Um, okay. I'm go on. I'm gonna let you do it now. Go on. We can go on to the old contradictions.
Yay.
Go on. We'll do it
the
because
contra- the
there's lots of them.
contradictions. There are loads, and I think this is where I really see where my mental health struggles came in. Okay, and it's only when I started looking at the contradictions of the both sides of my brain, should we say? I know it's not sides, because I'm someone like one of them. I love routine. I like everything to be in order, the sort of same things, doing the same pattern every day. But then randomly, my brain would be like, you need to do something new now. You need to do something exciting. You need to just go and do it. And then I'll do it. And then I'll remember that I hate going out in my routine and I hate trying new things. And then I get overwhelmed because I'm like, my body is telling me I need to go and do something adventurous. And then my brain is going, no, like, this isn't you. And it's like being two people in that sense. You've got this side of you that wants to do something spontaneous and something impulsive. Um, and then you've got this side that doesn't. And it just wants to sit down and be like, no, chill out.
No, I get that. I get that. I'm similar in the way of a lot of ADHDs. We want different things. We want variety. We want that dopamine. We want it to be interesting all the time.
Hmm.
And my head does want that, but at the same time, it doesn't work well in that kind of environment. So I need routine, and a lot of my things that I do is not necessarily routine for the day, but I do kind of task orientated routines. So I will
Yeah.
cook a certain way. So I'll cook a dish a
Mhm.
certain way. What I mean is obviously the same ingredients, but I will put the saucepan in a certain place. I'll put the cups and the spoons and whatever, and the jar of sauce, whatever, all in a certain place. I have to put things in order so then I can. And I was reading up on. Actually, I wasn't reading about it. I was reading a book, um, and the author was explaining about. She called it manual mode. About when you go into manual mode. I just call it just being on. I don't know. Just I can't get. See, this is one of my issues. I can't get my words out. If I haven't got the script in front of me, I just lose my way.
It's fine.
Just autopilot. So I
Autopilot.
have to have these routines to make it easier for my brain, so I don't have to think. So it's like it's this kind of taking the work away from my cognitive abilities. I don't have to think and plan, whatever.
Yeah.
It's all there. It's easier, and I can do it without thinking, so to speak.
Mm.
But add something
But-
to it, you know.
Yeah.
Someone talks to me, or someone comes in, or I have to quickly do something because someone's out the door, whatever. Now I've got to go back into that manual mode, I guess. I've got to start thinking, and that's where things go wrong.
Yeah.
So I'm going to
Yeah.
burn something, or I'll forget an ingredient, things like that. I'll shower a certain way in a certain order,
Yeah.
and if I don't, because someone comes in the bathroom, or whatever, chances are I'm going to miss a body part. I'm going to. Did I do my hair?
Forget. Yeah.
Yeah. And I do that for a lot
Awkward.
of tasks. It all has to be. It all has. Yeah, I did do my hair. It all has to be in routines, and I don't like it when that routine is broken. Like if I'm cooking and people come in and start talking and everything, I'm like, no, please go out because I don't want to think. I just need to do.
Yeah. It just breaks that routine, doesn't it? And then
Yeah,
it's yeah, it can be so overwhelming. And then it's hard when your own brain is trying to break your own routine.
yeah,
Really, really struggle with it. You know, you can be mid routine, your brain's like, switch it up a bit. No, we've learned this. You want to switch it up and you don't like it. And I think this is, it's one of the massive contradictions of my own head where it's like, um, it's not two people. I keep referring to it as if it's two people. It's not. But, you know, it's that
yeah.
different impulse at the time. Um, yeah, one person that just likes, I'm going back to the same person thing. I don't know what I'm saying
That's
today.
okay.
Um, but yes, what other contradictions have we got? So I did. I don't know if yeah, you've seen my TikToks now. I did an actual whole video on this before. It was saying things like I hate socializing, and I really struggle socializing. And then if I'm on my own, I can enjoy it for a bit, and then I get really lonely. I
Mm.
like feel this pressure that I'm meant to be with people, so I get really lonely. And then when I go and socialize, I remember why I don't socialize. So that's another sort of contradiction. Money, like I remember, I'm just going off like the video that I did, and money was another one. I love saving, so I love seeing money sitting in a pot and just getting it built up and saving a certain amount every month. But I sort of get this blind urge to spend. I don't know if I've said it on here before. It's during COVID, and it was over a couple of months. I managed to spend £5,000, and we had nothing to show for it.
Ooh.
Nothing. We were all a little bit like, where has that money gone? But there was nothing significant. I had just blindly spent this money. Um, well, I've got no idea. So as you can imagine, I'm not allowed in charge of much of the money anymore. Um, but no, I get this like I love saving and it becomes an obsession until I get that switch. I'm like, no, no, I'm just gonna go
Oh,
and spend all my money.
it's very
That's one of the
impulsive.
very impulsive.
Yeah.
And it's that like it's the switch between the person that loves seeing my bank balance and seeing my savings as sat here and I get really excited. Like it becomes a focus, you know, seeing how much money I'm saving and I like to set little goals, even they're goals in my head. Like I don't tell anyone these goals, but I just like setting these little challenges and I hit them and then all of a sudden it's just another part of me takes over and it's like, no, no, we are going to spend all of this on a canoe that you are never going to use. I haven't bought a canoe yet. There's still time.
Yes. Oh, bless. Fo-
Um,
focus
so
one is.
that's
Oh, sorry.
that's one. No, I was just saying that that is a big one as well. Yeah.
Focus for me, I find that I can walk into a room and I can completely Jason Bourne it. I could notice everything in anything. I could be that international spy. You know,
Yeah.
I and also I can walk into a room and not remember why I've walked in the room, or actually realize there's people in that room as I
Mm.
walk out again. And it's just, hang about, I can go in and do all that, but then I can go to the next room and just like, no, it's not
Yeah.
there, it's gone.
Yeah. No, I think I always notice there's people in the room because as soon as I see them, I'm like, what do you want to do? There's other humans. Or I just go in and start saying something impulsive and oversharing. That is another contradiction, I would say, in the sort of two traits for me, in that I'm either really socially awkward and I won't say a word because I'm scared of saying the wrong thing, or I don't know when to put myself into the conversation. Or then you've got the polar opposite where I am telling you everything, like everything, every detail I can think of in that moment. I'm telling you. Um, and that's a huge difference in my personality, how some people um experience me. And I tend to make jokes like, how I am around you is a reflection of you. Like I either want to talk to you or I don't. But it's not. It's just a reflection of, and it's not always the people I'm talking to. I could be speaking to someone who I'm normally really comfortable with, really fine, but it could be the external environment.
Yeah,
If I'm speaking to them and we are, I don't know, in the middle of a big crowd of people, I'm going to be a different person. I'm either going to be extremely shy or I'm going to be telling them things that they didn't need to know. Um, that's a contradiction, I would say. Big one.
I can't focus and on completing a task.
Yeah.
So very sort of classic ADHD. We can initiate start a task, but we tend to struggle with finishing it. The
Mhm.
contradiction is you can hyper focus and
Yeah.
you can just focus on that task 100% and completely forget about the world around you because you're so
Yeah.
focused.
Mhm.
So it's just strange how you just struggle to
So
focus a lot of
bizarre.
the time, most of the time, definitely for me. But
Yeah.
you can get a hyper focus going on, and then you focus
Mhm.
so much, the world around you just disappears.
Yeah. Do you find as well, though, when you've hyper focused on something, and this could be from food to like a TV show, whatever it is, you'll hyper focus, it'll bring you so much joy. It's literally all you'll do for ages, and then you won't look at it again.
Yeah,
Um, the food one is the most annoying one because it's happened to me so many times where I'm hyper focused on a food. Like I'll travel like cross country to get this food, and then all of a sudden I will never want to eat that food again. Like my brain just goes, no, no, we're done on that now. Same with like reading. I go through phases where all I want to do is read. I'm going to read every book I can find. I'm going to be buying books all the time, and then all of a sudden I won't pick up a book for months. Like just no interest whatsoever. Um, it's strange how it can drop like that, isn't
yeah,
it?
yeah. It's, there's so many things I just don't understand why. Um, but it's true. It happens. It happens, and you
It
just
does
can't.
happen. I don't know why. I suppose, but um I had a rant about no, I know I deleted my rant about this on social media. But I was on rant like if something brings you joy, let the people experience it. You get so many people. Special interest is something we talk about a lot in neurodivergence in general, whether it's autism, ADHD, um, and something that you can really find that pleasure in doing, enjoying, whether that's, I don't know, going to Disney, whatever that might be, doing jigsaws. And you can become so excited you want to bring other people in on that joy. And that's where you get put down. You're like, oh, that's stupid, or that's, a childish task, or that's why you're so obsessed with it. It's not that we're obsessed. It's bringing us joy. And it's if it's not hurting anybody, um, that's something I wish people would realize, whether it's neurotypical people or I don't know who does it, but you get put down for those interests and those hobbies. And I don't think they realize the intensity and how much happiness it brings you. And
Yeah.
so what? Like I
Yeah.
do it with TV shows, as you know.
Actually, I just think if you're telling someone something like that about you're doing it because you feel comfortable and you want to share your moment, your joy with that person because you feel
Yeah.
close enough to do that. So when you get a knockback, you just think, like, why bother?
Mm,
Just
yeah.
I'm just sharing good
Mm.
things.
Just because they don't find it interesting, like it's okay. I don't know. If someone was telling me a story and like my husband, he's really excited by new tools and new gadgets, okay? Now, I love my husband. I don't love gadgets. I'm not interested in the slightest. But I sit there and I let him show me this new thing that he's bought that he thinks is ever so exciting because I love him. Um, and this is where I really lose people because it's like you can pretend. You're allowed to just go, I'm glad that brings you joy because you love that person rather than, but yeah, so many people are really cruel, like, or just label you as being stupid or obsessed or whatever because you find joy in doing something or because you're an adult that, I don't know, buys jokes. There's been something in the news, I think this was the rant I had, a girl that she's autistic and ADHD and loves going to Disney on her own. And she goes there and she loves it. And then on a national TV program, they decided to slate her and make her out to be something evil or whatever for going to Disneyland on her own. And it's become this whole big thing. And it breaks my heart. It really does. That people are being put down for just things that they're not doing any harm. They're enjoying themselves. They are
Yeah.
finding joy. And, going to Disney, I'd imagine that's a huge special interest for lots of people. Um, not just neurodivergent people. Like it's something you're not hurting anybody, and that did send me off on a huge rant. And then I decided to delete it because I was like, let's not get involved because I'm going to get people coming at me. But I'll stick making my videos. I love house. And public come like I will sit there and watch these for days and just get so engrossed in it. And I'm not hurting anybody. So why do people feel the need to be mean and put people down?
Yeah. I think it's the social media thing because I doubt they'll say it to your face. Um,
Well,
well, maybe
no,
they do.
they'll say it
Yeah.
on national they'll say it on national telly
Yeah.
is the problem, and they'll yeah, people. This is it. There should be a rule. There always used to be a rule, sort of with. Someone told me this recently with social media. If you wouldn't say it in sort of in front of your mother, I think this is what they told me. They had the rule if they wouldn't say it in front of their mother, it's not something you should put on social media. And I don't think anyone is sticking to this rule at the moment.
Yeah.
But yet people are really hell bent on bringing people down for finding joy in something. And I think it's something in the neurodivergent community, it can really hit you hard because it can be, again, I don't know if, like you were saying with the special interest and things, you cannot focus on things for weeks, for months. And then it can be the most, it can be the most insignificant sort of hobby or whatever to other people. And then all of a sudden it just sparks this huge joy in you. And then to be put down can really knock your confidence, your sort of how to socialize with other people. It's so much more than just telling people, "Oh, that's stupid," or "Why do you like that?" It goes deeper, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, you could do that hobby or that special interest. It could be that point where you're just so down and you're struggling with everything, and you just found something that at last brings you some joy,
Mm,
and it gets you that dopamine that you've been trying to get for the last 10 years, and it brings you some happiness and it brings you some sort of comfort, and it makes you feel better in your own skin, and you
yeah,
feel for once that you're actually really enjoying something and you're interested in what it is and learning
yeah,
more about it, and you go and experience it, and then people knock you for it. I mean, it's like, the one thing that brings you joy, it gives you end up giving you a hard time because people just
yeah,
want to. it's,
yeah.
it's not right.
It's the same as if I don't know, a child brings you a painting and that little face drop when you're like, if someone goes, it's rubbish or whatever, obviously you wouldn't do it to your own child.
Yeah.
But it's like, I describe it as that kind of feeling. If I'm telling someone something that I'm really excited about because I've learned this new thing or whatever, and then they just put you straight down, it is that feeling as if you're giving you're painting to a parent and they've just gone, well, that's rubbish and going straight in the bin. Yeah, that's the kind of feeling I would say.
Yeah.
It's
My
not
my
nice.
my RSD would take over massively, and it would be, there's no point in talking anymore.
Yeah.
I thought we were getting on, and you just don't want to hear anything that I've got to say, and you're not interested in me, and obviously you don't
Mm,
like me anymore, and I've just
yeah.
wasted my time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's
there's the snowball,
yeah,
it's that stuff you don't see under the surface. What someone might see is, okay, they've stopped talking about that now. We're over. But they don't see that underneath that has really dented you, and it could dent you for weeks, months into the future, if not for the rest of your life, in the sense of how you form and how the opinion you form of yourself,
yeah,
and how you communicate with others. Communication doesn't come naturally to me, and for a lot of people, again, seems ridiculous. I do podcasting, although I've rambled so much in this one, it probably is quite obvious that communication doesn't come naturally. But it doesn't come naturally to me. I've had to learn a lot of like the social skills, um, what's sort of appropriate in a conversation, things that comes naturally to other people. I've had to learn. So when it does get knocked back, it's scary, and it sort of goes, okay, you need to reframe that way of thinking then.
yeah. No, it does.
Yeah.
It's hard for a lot of people to, like I say, to communicate and to talk to others. I I shy away from it as well. I don't know why I do this podcast. Um,
Yeah.
as you know, as well, I forget words. I struggle with words. I've got the whole script in front of me. I've got the questions all there, everything, and the words I'm normally going to forget is all there
Yeah.
because I can't hold a conversation.
Mm.
Because I can't get the words out.
Yeah.
Most of the time. So
Yeah.
it's so when I do talk and I get knocked back, like, oh, man, I hardly say a word, and when I do say a
Yeah.
word, it is not good enough.
Yeah.
You know.
Do
Um,
you then go into, like, it's another contradiction again, I suppose, where I've got two options. Like, I'm either really fast paced and I'll blurt out loads of things, but then I get really paranoid about what I've said because I worry a lot about being misunderstood. So people probably notice as well. Like, I'll say something and I'm like, oh, hang on now. And I have to like clarify what I meant. So that again is that impulsivity where I want to say my story. So I want to be like, blah, 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 blah. And I just need to reel it off really quick. And then that like need for perfection kicks in, and that need to be understood clearly kicks in. And my brain goes, you need to backtrack that. You need to make sure that that has been said in the way you need it to be said.
yeah,
So I find I do that a lot. I'm always like, hang on, I didn't mean it that way because I'm so scared of offending someone or being misunderstood in a conversation.
yeah. No, I get that. Completely get
Yeah.
that. My delay in correcting myself is a little bit longer though, so it'll be I will say whatever I got to say, and it will be maybe half an hour. It might be the next day when I next see them again. I have to revisit and go, look, when I spoke to you yesterday, and I said this, what I mean is this,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
usually they're like, yeah, I know, but I like,
They
no,
didn't even
I
register.
have to make sure that you understand, or really,
Yeah.
I need to make sure that I believe that you understand, um, so
Yeah.
that I can walk
And that's the
away.
thing. It's the way we interpret it. It's
Yeah,
the way we interpret ourselves and the sort of world around us. Um, we assume we're always on the defense, I find. Like, I always assume people are out to catch me out when I'm talking. They're not. I've discovered over the years they couldn't care less. Like, if I've misphrased something, but there have been those, one or two times in life where people have misunderstood me, and that's knocked me so much. I now assume that every person is waiting for me to slip up in a conversation just so they can be like, look what she just said. Um, 9 times out of 10, they're not. There probably are people out there just waiting for me to mess up, but I haven't come across them yet. Maybe today will be the day because I've messed up a lot here.
well, to be honest with you, I think this is really why I do the carried on doing the podcast is because we've got the same people here. We've got people in the same boat. with the same
Mm.
struggles and hurdles and you know, lifestyles and whatever, and is an acceptance straight away.
Yeah.
And I, although I do need the words up there and everything, I don't feel massively, I guess, conscious about forgetting words and not being able to string a sentence together where it's not bitty like it is now. I'm at the start and then a stop and a start and a stop because I'm just keep trying to find the words. Where when I'm talking to other people away from here and they're neurotypical and they don't know me or whatever, I get
Mm.
it's very very conscious, and that's why I don't, I guess, go out
Yeah.
and talk to a lot of people, and I don't feel that comfortable because if they ask me questions and I have to explain something,
Yeah.
you know, they get impatient when
Mm.
I'm struggling to speak and find my
Yeah.
words,
Mm.
especially if it's about a subject that I know,
Yeah.
you know. But if I'm talking to another neurodiverse person who struggles either talking too much or not being able to talk at all or whatever like that, it's all you know we just crack on with
Yeah.
it, and it just feels more
Yeah.
comfortable. So
It's very accepting sort
yeah,
of people community, isn't it?
yeah, yeah.
It's lovely.
Okay, right. Couple more. Um, I struggle, and I do work on this, and I think I'm quite good now. But I struggle to not interrupt people when they're talking to me, because if I've got something to say, I need to say it now. And there's obviously a bit of that impulsivity that you need to say it, but at the same time, if I don't say it now, I'm going to forget it. And if I let you carry
Mm.
on, by the
Yeah.
time I get to say what I need to say, I'm going to forget what it was, and it's just so.
Yeah.
But it's important, so I need to say it now.
Yeah, absolutely.
But at the same
And it feels
time,
like all you can think about.
yeah, yeah,
Like you can't focus, you can't listen to what they're telling you because you're like, I need to say this. I'm gonna
absolutely,
forget it.
absolutely. But on the flip side, please don't interrupt me, because that's just infuriating. I said,
I know.
how does that work?
I know it's yeah, it's a double standard, isn't it really? But we can't help it.
Yeah,
Like I was aware of the interrupting as a child. I was aware, not the interrupting as such. I was aware of finishing people's sentences. Very aware.
yeah.
Because keep like in my head, if I know what you're gonna say, I'll save you the bother. But then I have to like teach myself that that was rude because I didn't realize I wasn't aware enough to stop it, if that makes sense. As I've got older, I think I'm better, but I do sometimes sit there and I'm like, I want to say what I'm thinking.
Well, I can tell you now that as long as you're right, you can finish my sentences for me. That's not a problem
Okay.
because I struggle with my words. So if you can do the talking for me, that works.
No problem. Okay, until I say that you love, cheese and pickle sandwiches and you don't or
Oh
something.
God, no, 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 don't do that.
Cheese and pickle was all I could think of then. That was a random one.
I don't do
First
cheese.
thing that came to
Pickle's
my
fine though.
mind. Pickle. Oh, you
Um,
don't do cheese. Cheese is God's gift to mankind. Cheese
no,
is.
no,
See,
no.
this is a difference. Okay, this is just different people. Oh no, I love cheese. I eat too much cheese.
It's no. It's the worst thing that's ever been created. Um,
Fair enough. Fair
um,
enough.
I'm right and you're wrong.
Okay,
Um,
I'll accept it. You're also wrong, but I'll accept it. See, we're an accepting community.
we are, aren't we? Um. Oh, here you go. One more then. If you're gonna tell me something, um, be short, bullets, point sentences. If you're gonna explain something to me, you want me to do something to me, just quick one-liner. No
Yeah,
filler words or anything like that because you're gonna lose me. Okay, because I'm
yeah,
gonna forget most of what you say. If I'm going to explain something to you, I'm gonna give you War and Peace.
yeah,
I'm gonna give you the Lord of the Rings version of, can you get buy this product from a shop for me? It's going to
yeah.
be, and I know I'm doing it, and I bore myself.
Mm.
It's just, oh gosh, shut up. Um, But yeah, I find that really strange. It needs to be
I
short and sharp so I can remember.
Yeah, I do the exact same thing. Like if I'm having instructions, they need to be clear and they need to be solid. Although I say this, and if someone is talking to me, I don't want to hear about the weather. I don't want you to talk to me and be like, good weather today, how are you? Blah, blah, blah. I want you to trauma dump. Like, I'm very much the opposite. Like, the things that I do for other people, I'm happy for people to do it to me. Like, you tell me your deep, dark secrets from like your whole entire life, that's fine. So I like to have the details in that sense. But if someone is giving me instructions, they need to be clear. Um, but when I'm actually talking, I go around the dingle a lot as well. It's because I've got these little thoughts firing off. I'm like, oh, I'll mention that and mention this, and then I just end up in this loop of saying the same thing over and over again. So I've probably just done
We-
that. Oh well.
if you've listened to any of my podcasts, you will see that it happens a lot. Well, yeah, I go off and, yeah, but we weren't talking about that. Okay, we go back in. I've changed the title of some of the podcasts that I've done because I've digressed so much and I've talked about something completely and utterly different so much that we've had to change
Yeah,
the topic. But
it happens, and that's more
yeah,
natural though. That's a conversation, isn't it? That's
yeah,
how conversation works. You can start off with sort of one agenda and then end up doing the War and Peace version or whatever, you know.
Oh, man. I was talking to my son and explaining something to my son. I can just see the complete and utter boredom in his face as his eyes are looking elsewhere. All right, I
Yep.
need to shut up now, don't I?
Yep. People are looking at you going, that could have been a text. No, it couldn't have.
I've got to make sure you understand. I've got to make sure you know everything about what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. It's
But
that
there we
need
go.
to be understood. It's that need to be. I'm the same if I have an argument with someone or we do have a misunderstanding. I can't just go, okay, we're sorted now. We've said sorry. It's fine. I need to have a meeting with that person and we need to lay it out on the table where the misunderstanding happened, what my intention was, what I planned to do, where it went a little bit Fradach. I don't know what the
Mm,
English word for that is. Um, a little
neither
bit
do I.
pear-shaped. I say that to you as if you're going to be able to help me on that one. But yeah, I like clarity. I like to be understood.
Yeah, yeah. It's not good for us to be if we feel that we're not understood.
Yeah,
It plays on our mind
definitely.
badly. So
Yeah, and we need to put it right.
yes,
It's that justice
yes,
thing, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah,
Um, it's been an interesting conversation. I
I hope
like talking
so.
about stuff like this because I do find it interesting. Although we both sat here and we've waffled on, which is great.
Yeah,
I'm not editing any of that out, so it is what it is.
let people enjoy the raw, unfiltered waffling.
I can I'll see how long the average length of time people being also you listening, like 30
Yeah.
seconds.
Once Gemma went off on a ramble, I was out. It's
Yes,
all right. You can just put as a caption being like lots of waffle included. Okay, enjoy.
I'll put that in there. Um, but thank you,
Ah,
Gemma. It's been absolutely a pleasure
it's
having you on.
okay.
Um, technical issues aside, it's been lovely having you here.
Yes.
So
Always lovely to come on.
it's been a
Thank you for
long time.
having
It's been
me.
too long. So
Has been too long. We'll do it again soon.
yes,
When the tech issues have subsided, because
it's,
that was stressful.
yeah, it was. Oh dear. But we got
So
there.
yeah.
Well, hopefully got there. Well, don't know if we got there yet because I might find that none of this is recorded. So
Imagine.
I'll let you know.
It'll be
Um,
fine. It'll be fine.
fingers crossed. Um,
Yeah.
guys. Like always, be good, be kind, and remember, you're not alone. Thank you.